the other side, we got Reflection and Inu. Inu taking it 2-1 over Haven with their Zelda, though running into a pretty tough matchup, not gonna lie. Joker's speed can make it so hard for Zelda to pin any character down. Pretty good stage to do it on, giving Joker less room to run. But if he has any mobility at all, like, Phantom becomes that much worse.
Yeah.
Oh my god, look at him move. Joker's fastball is so good.
Oh, it's one of his best tools, the fact that he's able to like dip, dive, dodge, and duck, the 4 Ds of dodgeball. You know, put himself at like any position he needs to be at a moment's notice is like really the name of the game, and like that's a major thing. Is like because of the way platform fighters are played, is like if you have any sort of speed, you're at least a mid tier. Like, you cannot be bad, because like just being able to cover multiple options at once, even if your tools themselves are slow, just putting yourself in the position to use those tools is more important.
Yeah, positioning matters so much, and especially with Joker, because a lot of his other stuff, aside from Arsene, which is just actual DLC, like a lot of the other stuff is just like Smash Ultimate kind of good. He plays the same game that a lot of other characters are playing. He has that little bit of extra $5.99 time, but when it comes to base Joker, he's floating around with solid aerials, able to use things like Rising Fair and Rising Up Air super well, and Rising Back Air. Then quickly transition that into repeated fastballs, as Reflection has been doing, just to mix up the Inu's timings across the board. There's been a lot less chances for Inu to summon Phantom reliably, and even summon it to its fullest extent, so he can get that stage control off of it. It just really looks like Reflection is running the show until that clean call out. That was super nice.
Man is really flexing on the TL. But yeah, like as you're saying, like Inu's is just like, even though they haven't really been able to set up the zone, they've been doing quite the phenomenal job at avoiding Reflection zone. Just, you know, able to avoid the entirety of Arsene and just, you know, continually put themselves at safe spots and not really like all the hits getting hit by is the weaker hits that you can kind of take and survive.
Yeah, I like that you bring that up. Like adjusting his, Inu's been really reliably adjusting his flowchart. Good thing Arsene was out there, and he'd been yet another ledge situation. You're dead?
Wow, what a phenomenal regrab coming out from Reflection. Like, honestly, that's my favorite thing to do as Joker. It's one of the most rewarding things, but I feel like it's also one of the things that makes the character so potent, is the fact that like he has these. Not only does he can have strong hits and have like very good like horizontal combos, but these looping vertical combos are very strong and potent.
Yeah, he can close out combos reliably in either direction, though his vertical combos generally do a little bit more damage because you get that regrab. Speaking of vertical combos, Zelda only needs a 2-piece in order to make you feel the pain.
Great air dodge, yeah. Inu right now has been picking the most phenomenal air dodges. I have not seen a single punish coming out from Reflection. Just doing those right air dodges from the tournament winners, jumps off the ledge. Very good awareness on your defense and how to play around it. This right there, faded all the way out. It's like, all right, Joker already burned his double jump. Only so far he can go out. Let me just wait here. I have a very long teleport with the hitbox as well.
A really good angle, yeah. Inu's been picking his spots so well just to get around Reflection's offense and defense. The drift backs, the hold downs, and the turnarounds to get the Furor's wind to send to the other direction. It's real good. And it's that type of ability to adjust your own game plan and adjust your own flowchart against a character that kind of pokes holes in the standard like tools that you have, really is what makes the player in these hard matchups, and kind of what you need to do in solo lanes. Again.
Wow, what a phenomenal... Oh, okay, great DI coming out from Reflection, and he Arsene's it, so that way he gets his Arsene and makes sure the cut is in place, so he's able to wait out the attempted down, because like most of the time it's like you're not expecting him to get the full Arsene there. Oh, wins the trade! This man should go to Wall Street.
Yes, Reflection stonks are certainly rising right now, because not only did a sudden dip make a huge rise, but the determination to say, hey, I should have died already. Like, the kill sparks were there, and I had burned my air dodge. I need to close this out now before Eno gets a chance to commit to the full teleport, because the ending of the For Roar's win was giving Reflection some problems, so why let her do it at all?
Yeah. And it's definitely one of those things where, like, also just knowing that, like, the options that Zelda can safely throw out will end up actually losing the trade to the forward air. So very, very good awareness. Like, the only recourse Eno really has to either maybe do like a falling up to like land with an up air there, or further delay their up B, but you can't always do that, especially if, against a character like Joker that has down guns to really, ruin your day. But I also want to talk about a little bit before that, because how Reflection, rather knowing that his throws didn't kill, decided to go for a down throw anyways, and just jump around to scare out the double jump, and that's what really allowed him to get the trade there, is that the fact that Inu didn't have a double jump to play around with. So they were a lot more scared to get back to center stage.
Yeah, I'm not surprised we don't see a stage swap here.
Yeah.
Inu had played game one super well, and just playing super reserved and capitalizing on all of these moments, but Reflection's ability to scare a player. I mean, we saw it last that they were in against Sensei, and seeing it here in game one, and perhaps even still in game two. There's a lot going through his head in his offensive pressure. Like, he's not just trying to like land one hit and force it through. He's really considering, like, hey, if you're gonna like dash back and try and like force your way to get space, then I'll wait it out, wait for you to find these landings, and get a couple clutch Arsens every now and again to make you feel the pain.
Yeah. I also love how he's playing around these like platforms, like pretty much every time he's been able to kind of bob and weave, and even with Inu's very, very well executed double jumps to space to have a stronger punish on the DIN. They're still unfortunately getting the star spots to the back here, so all that hard work, and they're not getting the full punish like they want or need.
Still now in a rough spot. Yeah, Inu rolling away just to not get that grab, and the early trigger not ready for it, or at the very least he thought he was out of range. But on a stage like Smashville, you're never out of range of Phantom. Yeah,
this is why I feel like Loki is one of Zelda's best stages, just because of how much there's no platform for you to run to since it's right in the middle. So only pretty much only the Zelda can abuse it, and Phantom covers pretty much the entire stage, because it's a very small surface area stage.
Well, I can absolutely give you a little bit of affirmation, because from every Zelda player that I have talked to, they agree. Yeah, this Smashville is Zelda's 100% best stage. So it just gives the character so much, not only from the smaller size, letting Phantom really dominate and allowing Zelda to have room to move, but the less ability for opponents to run away and platform camp is massive for a character that is so floaty and so slow. Finally, it takes the third Arsene back air to close out that stock, but it's not looking great in this game too, that's for sure.
And on the ropes right now, but Joker, a character designed to, even thematically, to pull himself up from the crutches of defeat and really come out on top. And Reflection tends to lean into it, as a person, as a player, you really look deep and okay, I have two more interactions that can go any way that I can afford to have. How do I make the most out of it? And how do I come out on top? And or how do I minimize the fact that those interactions don't spell disaster for me?
Yeah, I completely agree, and that's he's playing this second stock, or this final stock, super well. 77 in a blink of an eye, but that's again yet another call out on the jump from a corner situation, not from ledge, but basically the same thing as Inu gets yet another up air to close that game too. Would be surprised if we go back to Smashville, given how that game went. But man, it's gonna be tricky to see how Inu wants to play this. a stage will be huge. Stage definitely plays a ton, does a lot in this matchup. Just having room to run for fast characters is huge. It's why like you don't take Sonic to FD. It's why you don't let Joker go to stages that are so wide and are so flexible for him. Pokemon Stadium 2 often being cited as his best stage, which is often a common starter. So he's definitely feeling pretty good in the Tri-State rule set.
And Reflection actually DM'd me to remind me of their old tag. For those who don't know, Reflection actually was formerly known as Insomniac.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, from a very, very strong player from that region. Has wins over Vince, Frege. I think even like Boost and Straw Hat as well. You know.
Yeah. No.
Very the big boys in Tri-State.
And here we see the a tale from the days long past. The Reflection Bayonetta coming out, and on PS2 no less. Like that's a pretty solid stage to go to if you're looking for space to move, and Bayonetta certainly got the tools to do so.
Yeah, I'm really liking this because we saw earlier Death Spade was really abusing the platforms, as well as like not only were the platforms coming out and doing well, but the extra room to roam, as you mentioned, like, you know, the fact that you don't have to worry about, like, oh, wow, they press a button and all of a sudden the entire stage is theirs. And I have to, like, play around that.
Granted, Bayo's more passive moveset, movement may allow Inu to be a little bit more forward with some of these phantom placements. They're going to have the time to fully charge it and to walk forward with some of these tools, which is why the percents are so close. And yeah, like if you okay, check that. Got hit by the Wi-Fi forwards win, just like here I am, surprise. You can't shield this on reaction.
The best players sometimes get cheesed, but the thing about good players is you only get them once.
Yeah.
And then you gotta take a little missed movements. You run away with that, and then you're like, okay, I try not to do it again because they'll be ready, and all of them will be ready to punish you for trying to get away with certain cheese or off-meta strats.
Yeah, and Zelda's generally a really good anti-meta character in a lot of ways. Being able to restrict movement like they do, and Uni's been very hesitant on pulling the trigger, not waiting until exactly the right spot where they will know they'll gain space, gain stage, or gain something off of this, off of any interaction. And yet again, the Nehru's love coming in clutch.
Yeah, it's just inside. I mean, Reflection doing such a good job at keeping Inu and ledge jail. Like this is probably the most important thing in the game. Like ledge trapping is in general is very potent. In my opinion, and some other players, I think it's a little bit too potent, a little bit easier than it should be. But I mean, every game has its unique mechanics, and this game's unique mechanic is that like covering the ledge is very strong. And if you know how to do it right, you can really put a lot of hurt on your opponent. And like that, like we saw at like the beginning of that stock, Inu was winning the on stage, and then as soon as Inu was put on off stage, it just permanently disadvantaged. Very good stuff to Reflection, just never ever giving Inu the breathing room to do what they want to do.
Yeah, the corner pressure from Reflection has been super nice, and that's a prime starter, but the solid SDI from Inu to get out of there. Still, 165 and climbing gets that stock, but that's quite a bit of damage that has been accrued, and Zelda's not necessarily the best at fully long combos. They need to play a lot of neutral, a lot of two-piece hits. That's a good way to start. A quick 30 thanks to the lightning kick.
Oh, miss spaces of forward smash. That's huge. As we saw, Death Spade, like 9 times out of 10, they were getting like a lot of their big openings from just like reading off a forward smash. The giant fist getting a huge buff from going into this game from the last, and like I feel like that's like the major thing that the Bayonetta has been pushing. Is that like she actually has more usable smash stacks. They're not just down B punishes.
Yeah, still treated as items, but they are like massive and kill super early with tippers. So pretty good.
I think they have projectile. They might have item, but I always thought they had projectile.
Projectile. Yeah, that's what I meant. thinking, still Diddy Kong on the brain.
Yeah. The monkey on the brain.
Sorry, boys. Return to Monkey has begun.
It has. I mean, a lot of people are returning to Monkey with how many people picking them up. But speaking of picking up things, what a great snag on the grab, but tries to call it the spot touch, but Reflection also very well versed in their defensive tool set as well. Delaying the air dodge so that way, just in case if Inu tried to do a delayed grounded option, they couldn't really do that.
And still relying on kill throw on that forward throw to kill was a Reflection. If you're going to play so much neutral as both of these players have been, yeah, percents get super high and kill throws, or at the very least throws that kill, start really coming into play. I hate to point it out, but you got to consider the clock. A lot of these stocks have been falling very, very late in the timer, and we could see Reflection just really start to slow the game down if they feel like they're in a tough spot where Inu starts to bring this back. Hard to catch Bayonetta. Very hard to catch Bayonetta when they don't want to be caught.
Yeah. And as you said the clock, I looked over, I'm like, wait, we're at 2 minutes left. I'm like,
exactly, yeah.
Time to go. But yeah.
First stock wasn't taken until 5 minutes 30 seconds, so they're taking their time, which is both a blessing and a curse in any matchup. Though it's definitely on Inu's. The ball's in Inu's court in order to kind of do something about it, especially with 142 now. You might need to dig into your bag of tricks, especially since this is the final winner side stock.
Oh, okay, all right. Nope, it's just who needs camping when you can just straight up mix up someone's toes and just unexpected kill throw.
Back throw, not back throw, back air. Forward throw, but back air applies so much pressure. I mean, the matchup with Bayonetta is like, hey, you can't really do much into shield. Her grabs don't combo into anything, so just don't try to jump as much. And Reflection knew the counterplay, so he counterplayed the counterplay. Good player things, I guess.
Yeah, very just smart stuff, scaring out the option with all those backers earlier, as you said. I mean, and it's the thing is that you can use your movement to fake your hand. So every time you short hop, if you try to land with a back air, if you short hop again, they're gonna have a Pavlovian response, and they're going to they're gonna expect the back air to come.